Greetings, vinyl community. Tim Eaton here, Vinyl Vengeance, doing a hopefully short vinyl update. I've gotten a few packages in from Metal Blade Records, Indie Merch Store, and Rockadrome, and just thought I would throw up a update for y'all. Show you some of the stuff that I have received in the last week or so. Most of these I have not listened to yet, and most of them I have not opened up. So not only am I going to show them, but I'll probably extra seconds and open up the records, the packaging to show the variants that I've got. First one up is Allegiant, which is a technical death metal band out of Colorado from here in the US. This was released in 2002. I am new to this band. I've been wanting to get this particular record, just love that album cover. I think I've given a few listens to some of the tracks online. So yeah, finally got my hands on it. This one came in from Metal Blade. Looks like this is a gatefold. Of course, color vinyl, because if it were black, I wouldn't bother opening it up. I do believe the two records are each a different color. So first one, bone white, I guess we would refer to that. And the second one is supposed to be gold. Yes, solid gold. Very nice, very nice. I believe the album cover might be a Travis Smith. To double check on that later. All right, next up, I've got two from this band. A band that, as far as their music, this is a new territory for me. Band members, I'm familiar with 3 out of 4 of the guys in the group. They are Echoverse. It's a prog rock. I really don't know that they step much into the metal realm. I'd have to, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comparisons with the Neil Morse band. Actually, 2 of the members, Kyle, the lead singer, and Kyle, the drummer, I've kind of run into them a number of times at some of Neil Morse's Morse Fests here in Tennessee. I know that one of the Kyles lives here. I'm not sure about the other 3 members. But anyhow, their first 2 records were released, the first one in 2024, the one I'm about to show, and the second one in 2026. So this year, yeah. So first one, again, this is Echoverse, Whispers Between Worlds, 2 vinyl. I did actually give this a spin the other day and really enjoyed it. Of course, like any, most prog music, you're going to have to give it a few listens before the stuff can really, really, truly click. I had that with especially the early Neil Morse and Spock's Beard stuff, but really enjoyed this one. It's vinyl's limited to 100, and I think a lot of these were pre-ordered. I was able to get this from Rox Records, so if you're interested in prog, you want to check this band out, I wouldn't wait too long on picking up the vinyl versions, and I think their CDs are limited too. So we've got a semi-translucent green for disc 1, and second record is an orange splatter, orange with a little bit of maybe a black marble. So that one limited to 100. And then their newest one, which I said was released in 2026, is Fall Towards the Sky. Same 4 members in the band, also limited to 100. Both copies I got were number 59. And unlike the other one, I believe this is just a single record. I've not opened this one up yet. I did listen to a few of the tracks online from this one. Of course, they've had 2 years to kind of gel as a band, and this one is a gold. Kind of looks like a gold mix, maybe a little bit of another color in there. Love how those gold variants look. So yeah, you can see some darker colors in there. So very cool. Again, 100 pressing on both of the Echo Verses. These were independently released. So yes, I did get them from Rocks Records, but I think originally the band did this on Bandcamp, sold on Bandcamp. Okay, next up is another prog rock band, one that prog rock fans are going to be more familiar with, especially if you're into prog metal. And this is one I've had on CD for a long time. And this was pressed on vinyl in 2023, so a few years ago. And I've been wanting to get this one on vinyl. This is back when I believe there was only 3 members officially in the band. And they pulled in some extra musicians like Joey Vera from Armored Saint. Don't remember who was on keyboards at this time, but so we've got Disconnected, Fate's Warning, originally released on Metal Blade Records, and this repressing is also Metal Blade Records. This is a 2 vinyl version. I believe both of the records are the same. It appears to be a translucent smoke, kind of the black swirl. So that is the first record, side A and B. Quick peek at the second record, see if it matches the same color variant. Yes, it does. All right. I know there were a few variants on that one. I think there was an orange, which would be nice with the cover, but I'm down with the black swirl there. Okay, next up is something that I don't even know if it, I might actually have it in hand before the official release date. As soon as I found out this band was releasing a new album, I pre-ordered it. I've been waiting, I don't know, maybe a month and a half for this one, not too long. As far as I know, there's only one variant right now on this. And so now we're getting into some death metal, some American death metal. This band is out of Wisconsin, Jungle Rot, and this is their 12th studio album. Cruel Face of War. I got almost like a robotic looking Statue of Liberty maybe there. And the back with the guys. And let's see what the variant looks like. There is no hype sticker on this one, so it does not state what the variant is. Again, I believe there was just one. No black. I don't think they typically do their releases on black. This one is a half red, half orange with black splatter. Nice. So yeah, as soon as I'm done recording, this will be my first record to go listen to. I've been looking forward to that one for a while. Okay, next up is another death metal band. This one out of Italy. And this is their 4th studio album. Not a band that I'm familiar with, but when I was picking up the Jungle Rot, I thought, oh, I'm gonna pick up another band that I am not familiar with, and I was pretty impressed with this album cover. So it does have a hype sticker on there, and as far as I've been able to tell, there's 2 variants. I thought I was getting the other one. But I got this one is called the Incinerate, because the band is Vomit the Soul, and the album title is Massive Incineration, and this is the Incinerate variant. Does appear to be a gatefold. Again, these guys are from Italy. never listened to the band before. It will be something new. And this one is a red, kind of a dark purplish red. May not, I think because of the lighting in here, it's showing as more of a traditional red, but it appears to be darker in person, and it's got white, maybe a little bit of blue or purple splatter. Maybe a touch of black in there too. So let's see, turn it that way. There's the label. And so both this and the Jungle Rot records were released on Unique Leader Records, which I've gotten a few other records from them and not had any problems. Good pressings, nice color variants, and yeah, always a good package with those. Okay, next up is a thrash band out of California, one that most of you watching are going to be familiar with. I've heard of this band. I've known of them for years, but this is the first album of theirs that I have picked up. They're not a band that I find in the stores, and I just have their earlier albums, both especially vinyl, but even CD, are tough to come by. I think their pressings are probably somewhat limited, and yeah, you don't find used copies laying around. So if any of you know a good place where some of their older albums are available, please maybe drop that in the comments, because even though this is my first one, I'd love to grab some of their other material. I am talking about Warbringer, and this is their most recent studio album, Wrath and Ruin. This one is released on Napalm Records. And as far as I know, I think this one was only released 2 color variants, and I think the standalone one that I'm holding in hand, should be black. I believe the colored variant was maybe a set, maybe a limited record set from, what did I say, Napalm, with some other goodies. A lot of times they'll do that with bands where they've got coasters and a poster and et cetera, and so I believe most of us that just bought the single record probably were just getting it on the black. So yep, that's what I expected, and I am perfectly okay with that. So a great later day thrash band from California. And goodness, how many great thrash bands have there been from Cali? More than I can count. Need many more hands. Okay, next up, next 2 I got from Rockadrome. Again, another band, not metal, but one that you all will be familiar with, and we could definitely call them proto-metal, 70s, 80s band. This is a unofficial, but it's from a very good company. I mean, I've seen a bunch of people share online some other bands that have been pressed from this label. It's Verne Records, Verne, and they typically will, as far as the labels, like the center ring labels on the records, they try to match up the labels from whatever company the band's particular band was originally pressed from that earlier time period. So this one happens to have the Vertigo swirls in the labels, and I'll show that in a moment. This is a 2-record set. It is a bunch of BBC sessions from Thin Lizzy, 1974 to 1977. Years ago, it could have been over 10 years ago, the Thin Lizzy released a multi-disc box set. I'm thinking it was like maybe 10 CDs, really hard to get, sold out quickly, really expensive. And that was all BBC material. So what we've got here is just a small snippet of what was released on that. But I have given this a listen, and these sound fantastic. So let's see, we don't have the Vertigo swirl. I mean, it's there. It's just, let me turn it that way. We've got it right there, but it's got the UFO swirl there and logo. So that's cool. Like that one too. Um, so record 1, record 2, and as the cover says, it covers from 1974 to 1977. And I would love to see the same company do a secondary release of this from maybe 78 on into the early 80s. Sounds fantastic. So if you happen to come across this, most of the company's covers have this kind of format to them, smaller photos up top, bigger photo, and then you got the titles of the songs and some additional information here about where they came from. And so no insert, but you got some good information there on the back. Tells you who performs on the tracks too. And last but not least, a band that has a connection to Deep Purple. This will be my first time owning a record from this particular group, and I think they only had maybe 3. Might be wrong, but I know there's 2 from the classic period from the 70s, and this is Warhorse. I know this has been repressed a number of times. This is a repressing from, I think, one of the spin-off companies, or I'll open it up and find out, but the hype sticker says the 1970 progressive hard rock classic featuring Deep Purple bassist Nick Simper. This is a limited edition gold vinyl. Of course, they don't tell you on here or anywhere online how limited it is, but that's okay. So this is also a gatefold single disc. There are no special additional tracks to this. It is the original material from the original release. Does not tell you any information on the back. So you got the original photo, but there's no copyright. Doesn't tell you who pressed it, and yeah, no information there. We've got a nice thick booklet with the band members, both sides, and it says Vertigo Records, but that is definitely not a Vertigo. This is not a Vertigo pressing. Let's look and see. Nice thick vinyl. Oh, look what we have there. So this is a not an original Vertigo. It doesn't say. It does not say. So I'll have to do a little bit of exploring online. It may be another unofficial release, just like the Thin Lizzy. But so many of those unofficials, at least ones I've been lucky enough to get recently, sound fantastic, great sounding. And so only time will tell. I do see a little bit of a drip of maybe black in there. Sometimes when we get our colored pressings, they have an oopsie. Looks like a little oopsie there. So love Captain Beyond, love Deep Purple. So I would expect that Warhorse will be a good listen to. So thank you for watching. This went a little longer than I had planned, but it took a little more time cutting those open and getting them out just to see the color of the records. Once again, thank you for watching. If you wouldn't mind giving this a like, if you haven't subscribed and you like checking out other people's collections, maybe picking up on some new music that you're not familiar with, then please feel free to subscribe and follow. I appreciate everybody out there that takes the time to watch and especially commenting. God bless, and thank you again for your support. Till next time, bye.